So let's take a look here at the next question coming up from Mark, asking, did you hear about the delivery guy who got accused of dipping his nuts in salsa because of a low tipper? If you've ever worked in fast food, if you've ever worked at all in fast food, you know how annoying this is. You know how low tipping is annoying. It's one of those things where I told my girlfriend about this earlier today when I was prepping the show, and she was all like, how are you mad about that? Like, you always bitch about having to tip. And it was like, it's not that I hate tipping. I have nothing against tipping. I tip pretty well. It's always the culture surrounding it. It's that expectation of tips. It's that expectation of something. That's not that I'm not a big fan of, right? But at the same time, this is completely uncalled for. So it says here, a Marysville man faces felony charge for dipping testicles in salsa before delivery. Because that's good, right? If you think about it for a second, this actually could have some upside to it, but we'll talk about that. So Howard Matthew Webb, 31, is accused of placing his testicles in a salsa container that was then delivered to a low tipping customer last month. Maryville police arrested Webb on Friday on charge of adulteration of food, liquids, or pharmaceuticals, a Class C felony. What exactly is the adulteration of food? It does come across like he was married to maybe another food item, and then he just had sex with another food, and it happened to be documented, and it's illegal in that state. Otherwise, I don't quite understand what the adulteration of it means, but anyway, you know what? The law is the law, and I'm just an idiot. A woman who received the salsa ordered the food on January 12th from a local Mexican restaurant through Dinner Delivered, an online food delivery service. So kind of like DoorDash or Postmates or Uber Eats. Webb was a passenger in the vehicle driven by an independent contractor who worked for Dinner Delivered. The general manager, Leo Wilson, told the Daily Times. So think about this one here. You have to love that. Look at the wording on that one. Webb was a passenger in a vehicle operated by an independent contractor. Like, we want nothing to do with this. This is nuts, but it ain't our nuts. Nothing to do with us. All independent. We have absolutely no responsibility to this. And truth be told, they actually don't. It really does boil down to the Dinner Delivered, the company that hired the independent contractor. Essentially, what they're trying to talk about here is the fact that the independent contractor, is like, they don't do background checks. It's like, I drove Uber for a while. Minimal background check. I did Uber Eats 2 years ago when I first moved to Washington for a couple days. And again, no background check. I've met other drivers, no background check. People show up and do whatever. A friend of mine just signed up for DoorDash, and I was asking him about it. And he's like, you give them your driver's license, they might do a background check, but they pretty much just keep it like, oh, do you solemnly swear that you are above board person? And that's like their background check, because they don't care. They don't care. It might be a minor inconvenience to them in order to get someone the food, but it's just at the end of the day. Now, so after the pair picked up the food from the restaurant, they made a video, because this is what got the guy in trouble. Okay, this dude right here, who looks like he does dip nuts in salsa. It says here that he produced a video showing Webb placing his testicles in a salsa container, and the driver is heard laughing and stating, "This is what you get when you give an 89-cent tip for an almost 30-minute drive." The Maryville Police Department investigator wrote in a statement, Webb is heard saying, oh, it feels so good, ladies and gentlemen. The salsa, the tomato juices really work with the testicles. But the thing is, I mean, like, at no point do I agree with this, but I kind of see why the driver is upset. An 89-cent tip on a 30-minute drive. If you're working for when I did it, you don't get paid that much money. You don't get paid that much money to do Uber Eats or to do Uber at all. It's based upon like the frequency and the distance. If you can, a lot of shorter orders or whatever, you're going to get like a set amount of money, but the further out you go, you get a little bit more money, but it's still like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really feel like a lot, depending also on if there's surge rates or promotional deals. And I don't know how Dinner Delivered operates. I don't know if they're, but the guy felt screwed out of a 30-minute drive. Now that 30-minute drive could have been 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back, and that could have been considered 30 minutes, but he clearly knew who this person was. At least that's what it feels like. Now the 14-second clip made the rounds on Facebook, racking up hundreds of shares. Why would you share it? Why would you share? Why the fuck would you share it? Yeah, you know, I mean, we're just gonna sit here and dip my nuts in the salsa, and then I'm just gonna post it on the Facebook. No one's gonna know who it was for. Like, you're saying right there that it's because someone tipped 89 cents on a 30-minute drive, and you probably posted it to your own Facebook, so your idiotic friends are going to know that you drive for dinner delivered, and then it's eventually going to be able to be traced back to you. It doesn't take Columbo to trace back a fucking video post. Not at all. Now, the police opened an investigation after Dinner Delivered contacted them about the video. The driver has not been charged, but the investigation is ongoing. Yeah, but he's out of a job, I'll tell you that. Webb was not affiliated with the driver service or the restaurant. It's unclear why he was in the vehicle. Well, that actually makes a lot of sense. So when you do Uber, you're supposed to be by yourself, like when you're driving car, picking up people. But when you drive with, you go to pick up food, oftentimes people roll with their whole families. It's just, for one, it's company. Two, it's just if you need to like park and have somebody run up to drop it off at someone's door, it just makes it a little bit easier. I saw a woman the other day, handicapped. She was disabled, and she had her son carrying the food, and I held the door open for her. She was leaving, and oh my God, you're doing Uber. She's like, yeah, and we talked about it for a second. So it's like, yeah, people do it. They have their kids help, our family members help out, or people hang out with them. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. It's I could see it being a very solitary existence. When I did it, it was very solitary. So the driver had worked for Dinner Delivered since November. She's now out of a job, and she will never drive again for Dinner Delivered. Yeah, I would assume so. I would also figure that her information would have been forwarded off to Uber Eats, to Postmates, to DoorDash, and all the other ones. The company, which serves parts of East Tennessee and North Georgia, issued a refund for the order and found no evidence that anyone else's food had been tampered with. So they just gave a refund. These people literally ingested this dude's nut sauce. You know what I mean? Like, they thought it was like, they could have had a peanut allergy. God damn it. No, but I mean, they ate this dude's nuts. Like, I would potentially sue, because here's the thing: is while the food is in custody of the independent contractor, it's still being provided through the service of Dinner Delivered. So I'd look at possibly suing if I was that person. Webb, who has been jailed in lieu of a $45,000 bond, holy crap, appeared in Blount County. His preliminary hearing is set for March 12th. If convicted of this Class C felony, a jury would have to find that he did the deed with the intent to cause bodily injury to another. Webb could face a sentence of 15 years in prison and a fine of $10,000. Jesus. Look at this guy. Look at his expression. He is so pissed. He's like, it was a prank. It was a prank. Ah, yeah, you fucking moron. You dipped your nuts in salsa while your girlfriend or your friend recorded it, shared it around on Facebook. You were identified, and then now you're facing up to 15 years in prison for 14 seconds of idiocy. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that funny how that works? Now, granted, look, he probably didn't do it in order to cause bodily harm or bodily injury on anyone else. He probably didn't, right? I'm not going to speak to this dude's true intentions, but I would argue that's probably the case. He probably just did it, for fun. They could dip my nuts in, the thing is, I'm not even going to defend this guy. Fuck this guy. Because I've had that happen to me once before. There's a guy at Subway I used to work at when I was 15 who didn't like me. Shocker. And my buddy went in there to get us some subs who did work there, and we were going to get him for free. But when the guy, his name was Rob, found out that he had dumped, that I was going to be the receiving end of the other sub, he reached in his crotch and he ripped out pubic hair and he sprinkled it on the sub and told my friend not to tell me. Well, my friend told me, and I looked in the sub, I saw the pubes, I looked around back of the Subway, saw Rob's convertible, and then the sub found its way in the back of the convertible. It was an airborne thing. Gravity did its work. He was none too pleased. And later on that night, I found my front driveway covered with 4 bags of Subway trash. Yeah. That's okay. Rob ended up getting busted a couple months later when he decided to quit Subway. So he cooked up all of the bread in the store, made over 150 sandwiches, trashed the store in the process, and then went around Portland. This is in 1998, by the way. Went around Portland and started handing out free subs to people. not realizing that there was a camera in there that he had no access to stop from showing what he had done, and caused around $15,000 to $20,000 worth of damage to the store. So Rob was not having a good day. I don't know where he is now. Maybe in a ditch covered in petrol on fire, and either way, the world would be a better place. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this clip from Whatever. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe. You can even submit your own stories to peskyadblock@gmail.com or call the voicemail line. If you want to help support the channel financially, you can always join the channel, become a member today, or go to patreon.com/MundayMatt. Thank you guys again so much. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.